Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will be making the Amira sweater, a super easy sweater to make even for beginners. It has a panel construction, a super nice stitch pattern, and I'm sure that anyone can make it. So let's get started. For the sweater, I used durable mohair from Durable Yarn. This is a mix of acrylic wool and mohair, and is a size 2, a sport weight yarn. Each skein has 50 grams and approximately 190 meters. And because I wanted this sweater and because the fluffiness of the mohair, we will be using a bigger crochet hook, which is 6.5 millimeters. Now, if you want to adjust this pattern to a different yard weight and crochet hook size, you can find on the written pattern, you can find all the instructions that you need. So now I'll be working size extra small, so we will be chaining 82 stitches. If you want to adjust the hook size, we just need to chain a multiple of 3 plus 1, because this stitch pattern that we will be using requires a multiple of 3 plus 1. And now after finishing with the foundation chain, we will chain 2. The first chain will count as a single crochet and the second chain will be the separating chain, and into the third stitch from the hook we will work a single crochet. Now we will skip 2 stitches, and into the third we will work a variation of the V-stitch as a single crochet, chain 3, and another single crochet into the same stitch. Now we will skip again 2 stitches, and into the third we will work again this V-stitch, the single crochet V-stitch, single crochet, chain 3, and another single crochet into the same stitch. And we will repeat to the end of the row. At the end of the row, we will skip 2 stitches and finish the row with 1 single crochet, chain 1, and another single crochet into the same stitch. Now we will chain 2 and turn. And the second row will be the repeated row. Now you need to find a chain 1 there, space, and we will work a single crochet. And then into each 3 chain space, we will work the single crochet V-stitch, single crochet, chain 3, and another single crochet. And we will repeat to the end of the row, and we will see right away how we will finish the row, because we have that half of a V, let's just say it like that, at the end of the row. So at the end of the row we will find that 1 chain, and we will go with 1 single crochet, chain 1, and then we will go into the first chain that we did at the beginning of the previous row, and we will work a single crochet there. If it's difficult to see or to point that single crochet, that chain, it's okay to just work into the same space. And now we will repeat this row, the second row, either until you have the desired length or until you will reach and have 46 rows in total. So now every time just chain 2 and turn, and then work 1 single crochet into the same 1 chain space, and then in each 3 chain space we will work the single crochet V-stitch. And you should work the back panel until you have the desired length. I will be working in total 46 rows, and then we will meet again because we will need to straighten the edge of the top back panel. Okay, now we finished the length of the back panel, and you can see that we have these bumps from the single crochet V-stitch. So now we will chain 1 and turn, and we will work 1 single crochet into the same stitch, and then we will chain 2 and work 1 single crochet into the next 3 chain space, and again chain 2, 1 single crochet into the next 3 chain space. And in this way we make this top edge straight, and we won't have these V-stitch bumps that were created by the stitch pattern. Let's continue to the end of the row. And at the end of the row we will finish with chain 2 and 1 single crochet into the last stitch. And with this the back panel is done, and we can cut the yarn, and we will move forward to the front panel. Now for the front panel we will start with the same number of stitches as for the back panel, and we will follow the same pattern, but we will work in a length with 3 rows fewer with 3 rows, because we will lower the neckline, and for the last 3 rows of the length we will simply work only into the shoulder stitches. So if I worked 46 rows for the back panel, now I need to work 43 rows for the front panel, and then we will work only into the shoulder stitches. So after finishing 43 rows for the front panel, we will use 2 stitch markers to mark the shoulders and the neckline width. I let the neckline wider with 13 V-stitches because I will be using a smaller crochet hook size for the neckline ribbing, which will make the entire circumference of the neckline smaller. You can adjust the neckline width by letting for the neckline less V-stitches than I did. Now we will work into the same stitch pattern for the shoulder stitches. So up to the first stitch marker. And then the neckline width, we will need to work that row to straighten the neckline, the same as we did for the back panel top edge. So this is my last stitch of the shoulder, so I will work the V-stitch here. And now I will go and work 1 single crochet into the first V-stitch of the neckline, then 2 chain and 1 single crochet in next. So into the first 3 chain space of the neckline we will work single crochet, then chain 2 and single crochet in next, and we will continue like this until we will get to the next stitch marker which is the first stitch of my other shoulder. So now that I got to the other shoulder, I'm not chaining 2. I will simply go and work the single crochet V-stitch into that marked 3 chain space. And I will continue to the end of the row. We will finish the row as usual with once. Oh my god. Yeah, this can happen. Okay, I managed to detangle all that yarn. So now we will turn and we will work only into the shoulder stitches. So now the neckline remains as it is. And we will work the single crochet V-stitch to the mark stitch. Now it's easier to visualize that stitch because it's the last single crochet V-stitch that we have for this shoulder. But into that last V-stitch, we will work the same stitch as we did for all the end of the rows. So we will work that half V-stitch. Okay. Okay, so here into the last V-stitch we will work 1 single crochet, chain 1 and another single crochet into that last single crochet. Now we will turn, chain 2 and turn and work 1 more row. So this was row 45, now it's 46, and for the last row we will need to straighten that edge, and the same as we did for the back panel top and for the neckline. So now we will chain only 1 single crochet, then chain 2 and single crochet into the next 3 chain space. And again only into the shoulder stitches. Now we will cut the yarn because we finished with this shoulder, and now we need to rejoin the yarn and work the other shoulder. Now we will need to rejoin next to the neckline because this is worked in mirror. So now this is how our next row needs to start. So we will rejoin the yarn into that first V and start the row as usual. So with chain 2, and then I'm working a single crochet into that same 3 chain space. And now I will continue with the V stitches. So we will work V stitches, single crochet V stitches to the end of the row. We will finish the row with that half single crochet V stitch as usual. And we will work one more row. And then we will work that finishing row to straighten the edge of this shoulder as well. Okay, so in this last stitch we're going into the 1 chain space and work 1 single crochet, chain 1 and another single crochet. Now we will chain 2 and turn and work 1 more row into the same stitch pattern. And then the last row we will work that last row to straighten the edge. Okay, so now we chained 1 and turn and work 1 single crochet, then chain 2 and single crochet into the next 3 chain space, and we will continue like this to the end of the row. And with this last row we will finish the front panel, and at the end of this row you can let a longer end, a longer tail, because we can use it to sew the shoulders, because this is what we will be doing next, to join at the shoulders, the front and the back panel. So now using a needle, if you want to leave a long tail, it's perfect if it is 3 times the length that you need to sew. And then I'm using the ladder stitch to join these shoulders. But you can use a different method if you want. You can use even the crochet hook and join the shoulders with slip stitches, whatever feels more comfortable with you, and whatever method you are used to, you can use it for joining the panels. Now what I have here for the ladder stitch, it needs to be on the right side of your work. On this specific pattern it's not really that important because the stitch pattern is reversible, so it's looking the same on both sides. So I try to zoom in a bit so it will be visible. With the needle I'm going from stitch to stitch, so not skipping any of the stitches, and we will keep working like this, weaving the yarn like this until we will finish sewing the 2 pieces together, and then we will repeat for the other shoulder as the same. And the next step, we will go further after finishing sewing the pieces with the sleeves. When measuring the sleeve width, avoid measuring only like this with the side rows, because we will work perpendicular on this side edge. And if you're measuring like this, you need to have with at least 2 centimeters more, because then it will be smaller. So I will recommend to count every side row as 1 stitch, and to calculate the width of your sleeve according with your stitch count gauge with your V-stitches. So I will let 25 side rows on each side, counting from the shoulder seam, and I will end up with 8 single crochet V-stitches from armpit to the shoulder seam and from armpit to the shoulder seam on the other side. I just gave you the numbers for all the sizes, but if you want to adjust that or you have a different gauge, then please measure the number of V-stitches that you will need for the width according with your V-stitches gauge, and then consider the side rows as one single stitch, and you will have to you will need 3 side rows for each V-stitch, the same multiple of 3 plus 1. So now I have 25 side rows on each side, and we will rejoin the yarn on the right side. So for this first row, we will rejoin and chain 2, then a single crochet into the same stitch, and then I will skip 2 side rows. I will go into the third one and we will work the single crochet V-stitch. And now again, 1, 2, I'm going into the third one and working a single crochet V-stitch. One, 2, and into the third one. And we will continue like this up to the shoulder seam, working this V-stitches into the side rows of the armhole. When we got here to the shoulder seam, we will go right into the first stitch and we will work another V-stitch, and we will continue over the shoulder seam on the other side. So if I let 25 side rows, I need to have up to the shoulder seam 8 full V-stitches, okay? Because it's 24, I need 3 rows for every V-stitch plus 1 at the beginning, which is the half V-stitch. And let's continue and finish this row in the same way, this row meaning up to the next stitch marker, where we mark the end of the sleeve. And after that we will continue to work the length of the sleeve until you reach the desired length, or until you will have in total, I worked 39 rows, because the last row will be that final row to straighten the edge of the sleeve as well, the same as we did with the other with the neckline, with top panel edge, so it will be the same. But now let's just continue and work into the same stitch pattern the length of the sleeve. After finishing the desired length, we will work the same row to straighten the edge. So I chain 1 and then turn, and we will work a single crochet, then chain 2, and work a single crochet into the next 3 chain space. And we will repeat to the end of the row. We will finish the row with 1 single crochet into the last stitch. And now we will work the cuff of the sleeve. You can work this cuff even at the end after assembling, and can work it in the round, but I will work it right away, and then we will assemble the sweater. So we will switch with a smaller hook size because I want this cuff ribbing to be denser, the fabric, and we will work first row in double crochet stitches. So I chain 1, and then we will continue with 1 double crochet into each stitch. Make sure that you are working 1 double crochet into those 2 chains that we did between the single crochet stitches, and we will work single crochet to the end of double crochet to the end of the row. Now we will turn, chain 3 again, and we will work up front post, back post, double crochet ribbing. So front post and then back post. Again, so going around that stitch through the back, and then around but through the front to make the back post double crochet. Again, around through the back and around through the front. And we will continue like this to the end of the row. Okay, so we will continue to the end of the row. At the end of the row, don't forget to work 1 double crochet into the last stitch. And now we will turn, and I want to make a few decreases because I still believe, even with using a smaller hook size, that cuff is too wide. So we will chain 3, and we will start with a decrease. So to make the decrease, we will go and grab the next 2 back posts, double crochet like this. So we will work 2 back posts double crochet together, and we will skip the front post in between. Now we will work another 5 stitches as they are, following the post that they have. Okay, so 1 more, and now we will decrease again. So yarn over and go and grab the 2 back posts that you have and skip the front post in between, and then continue again with another 5 stitches, working the post as they are. And in this way we are doing a few decreases so the cuff will be smaller. Now the stitch pattern, the stitch count won't be like having the same repeat to the end with 5 stitches and then a decrease, but you will repeat it as long as your stitch count allows and finish the row as it is. So at the end of the row I didn't have 5 stitches, but I finished with a last decrease. Even so, if I didn't have 5 stitches before. So now we will chain 3 and we will continue with the pattern. And as you can see now the cuff is narrower, and now you can work as many rows as you wish until you the ribbing, the cuff ribbing is having the desired width that you wish for. I think I will be working 2 more rows and then we can call this sleeve finished, the sleeve done. And of course that we will need to repeat the same pattern for the other sleeve. Okay, this is how the cuff is looking. I think it has enough width. So now we can cut the yarn and we can start working on the other sleeve. And we will repeat the same pattern for the other sleeve as well. Okay, now that we finish with the sleeves, we can start working on the neckline ribbing. The same, you can work this at the end after finishing assembling the sweater, but I always like to see that the neckline is nice and finished because the sweater is looking almost like it's done. So we will work the same ribbing pattern with 1 front post and 1 back post double crochet, and I will rejoin the yarn into the shoulder seam, so in one side, and then we will chain 3 and we will start working towards the back panel, and we will work 1 double crochet in each stitch. We have a few side rows because we have the front panel lower for that neckline, and on those side rows you will be working the same with 1 double crochet into each side row, or place the double crochet as you think that they are looking nice and even. So now let's just work this first round in double crochet. Again, preferably to start working on the right side of your work because we will be working only on the right side. Okay, these are the side row stitches of the front panel that I was talking about. So here, depending on how loose you made those chains or double crochet at the end of the row, you can place 1 double crochet per row, per side row, or place them in a way that it feels natural and it feels that the double crochet that we are working into these side rows are nice and even. And don't worry too much about it because anyways we will start working with the ribbing, and the neckline will be anyways smaller than it is right now. So if you're working less stitches, I don't think it will be any issue. So now we will start working on the front panel stitches. Again, we are working 1 double crochet into each stitch. Now we will continue and finish this double crochet round, and then we will meet at the beginning of the row to start the next round of this collar ribbing. We will finish the round with a slip stitch into the third chain, and we will start also with a chain 3. This will count as a back post double crochet, and then we will work 1 front post, 1 back post, front post and back post, and we will alternate in between these 2 stitches to the end of the row. To finish, we will need to finish with a front post double crochet, because we said that the chain 3 counts as a back post double crochet. But if you don't have an even number of stitches, then at the end of the round you can make a decrease, just to make sure that you're finishing the round with a front post. Now I was lucky and I have an even number of stitches, but if you don't, just make that decrease at the end of the row to finish the row with a front post. And now we will continue and repeat this row again until you will have the desired width of your collar. I will work in total the same number of rows as for the cuff ribbing, and I think I worked there 6 rows, counting the double crochet row at the beginning as well. Okay, so this is how it's looking so far. So we will continue to work for as many rows as we want until we have the desired width. So this is how the collar is looking right now. We can now cut the yarn. I told you this is what I was telling you about, that if I'm using a smaller crochet hook, then the neckline circumference will be smaller. So now that we finish with the neckline as well, we can go further and assemble the sweater, and then we can work the bottom hem ribbing as well. To sew the side edges of the sweater, I will be using the same ladder stitches I used for the shoulder seam, and I will use the same method. So first I'm measuring the length of the yarn that I'm putting through needle to be third time longer than the length that I need to sew, and then I will rejoin the yarn at the bottom into the bottom first stitch and make a knot there to secure the yarn. And then I will go from side row to side row. So here I went into the right into the first side row, and then getting out with the needle into the second side row, and now I will go into the left side and do the same. And then I will go back into the right and inserting the needle into the same side row as your pulled it out before, and so on. So we will continue like this until we will get and finish sewing the side edge, meaning when we will go to the cuff. Now if you want, you can use some pins to keep in place these two pieces. Also, you can use some stitch markers and divide basically this length into sections. This will make sure that you will go straight and not miss any side row. Now, if you want to use a different sewing method, then feel free to do so. As I said, for the shoulders, you can also use another joining method with the crochet hook if you'd like slip stitches or single crochet stitches on the wrong side of your work. So whatever it feels comfortable for you and whatever you got used to, you can use it. After assembling and sewing the side edges, we will begin to work the bottom hem ribbing. And we will be using the same 4mm hook size, and we will do the same as we did on the collar. So we will work only on the right side, and we will rejoin the yarn into the first stitch. I'm using as first stitch the side seam of the sweater. And then we will chain 3 and work a first round in double crochet stitches. So this will be the same thing as on the collar. Now make sure when you are working into the foundation row, it will be not to miss any stitch, but of course if you're missing, we are trying to use a smaller hook size that will make this bottom hem ribbing smaller. So if you're missing a stitch on the way, it won't be a big deal. So just make sure that you're trying to work a double crochet into every stitch. And then we will continue with, after this round, we will continue to work the front post, back post, double crochet ribbing. Okay, we finished the first round in double crochet. We will join with a slip stitch with a third chain. And now we will chain 3, which will count this time as well as back post double crochet, and then we will start alternating front post double crochet and back post double crochet to the end of the round. It's the same thing if you will need to end up with a front post and double crochet at the end of the row. But if you don't have, or if you have more stitches or an uneven number of stitches, you can work the last 2 stitches together to make sure that it will be a front post double crochet. And then we will repeat the second round for as many rounds as you wish until you get to the desired width. I will work the same number of rows as for the cuffs and collar, and this is how the sweater is looking. Now all you need to do is to weave in all the ends and block it to measurements. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for another crochet tutorials, and thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.